See what happens. Yeah, I'm live. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? If you're joining the chat and joining the live, you know what? I am going to appreciate it because this wasn't planned. I'm supposed to go live with Cody Leach with his new channel, The Game Chamber, and we had some technical difficulties and we had to reschedule. So here I am. I was dressed up at the house and I was like, you know what? I'm all plugged in, ready to go and I'm already I'm here. So I'm like, let me go live on my channel. I haven't been live spontaneously like this in forever. I usually do this on TikTok. And I thought, let me just go live and talk to people, see what's up, and see if get to know some people because I gotta really thank Cody Leach on this because with a lot of the lives I've been doing with him as far as talking about horror movies and things like that, he there's been a lot of attention and a lot of people coming over to my channel, and I owe him, the world to that. So I really thank him for that. And hey, Schofield Studios first. What's up? Great idea, Rudy. Hey, Mohammed, how's it going? So yeah, we're supposed to go live, and it didn't work out because of technical difficulties. But I thought I'd go live myself because, again, with all the new subscribers I've gotten, a lot of people really don't know me that well, and I thought I'd just talk about myself and how I got here and things of that nature. And if anybody has questions about anything, really, let me know. And we'll get started. But every Corey, Meme City, Schofield Studios, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Again, last minute thing. For those who don't know or are new to me, this channel, my name is Rudy. I started YouTube back in 2016. I love movies. I grew up with my movies just with my dad and my mom. I love horror movies, especially. That's how I got to meet Cody and everybody. And I started in 2016, and I didn't know anything about the algorithms or anything like that. So I guess that's why my channel never grew. I just made videos based on what I loved. And that was like old school 80s stuff and things like that. So the following, I appreciate the following. I think I'm close to 4,000, which I'm fine with. But I really wasn't consistent with YouTube because of, I'm 44, I have two teenagers, and I'm a single dad as well because I got divorced. And for those who don't know, hey, Colin, what's up? Big fan. Hey, thanks, man. Colin. You know what? Colin, thank you. Much obliged, sir. Thank you so much. My dad's the reason I love movies too. Yeah, my dad, you know what? My dad took me, my first movie ever was Flash Gordon. And I remember going to the movies, and I remember it perfectly. I remember the day taking the bus over there because we were poor Hispanic family, and we had to take bus all over the place. And I remember how hot it was, the air conditioning in the bus. Then we go to the movie theater, and then imagine being 5 years old and then watching a movie and then hearing boom, 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 flash, and the Queen just starts jamming out, dude. My senses, my ears, everything was just blown away. And then all the visuals and how colorful the movie was, and the acting was over the top and just silly. It's more like a space opera. It really wasn't meant to be taken, like Star Wars or anything. Like it's just like a true adaptation and tribute to the old serials. So Flash Gordon is my love, and that's how I grew with movies. And then I saw Halloween with them, things like that. So I owe it to my parents, man. My dad, my mom really introduced me to that. But what brought me to YouTube? Hey everybody, what's up? Meme City. I want to give everybody some props here. Schofield Studios, pleasure. And Muhammad, hey, nice. I love the Goodfellas meme, dude. That's pretty cool. But with what brought me to YouTube was I got divorced. For those who don't know, I got divorced in 2016 after a 16-year marriage, and whatchamacallit, I really didn't have any friends because all the friends kind of sided with the ex, which is fine. But I love movies, and I really didn't have anybody to talk to. So I was like, well, what am I gonna do? I got to do something, right? So I go, why don't I start a YouTube channel? And I'll treat the camera like a friend. And that's really kind of been my whole motivation when I'm on YouTube is I look at the camera and I feel like I'm at lunch with a friend or we're out having beers and we're talking about movies. And that's kind of been my whole approach and, mentality with it and having a good time. And it's gone great. But if it wasn't for my divorce, I would not have come to YouTube. And it's funny how, a dark moment like that has led to really a great opportunity because of YouTube. It's really gotten me attention with people that I never would have met. It's gotten me on local television here in San Antonio, is where I'm from. It's also got me opportunities with Comic Cons. Some people saw some of my videos, and I got to interview some celebrities, a lot of great celebrities. It's really opened up a lot of windows for me, and I'm really grateful for that. Let's see, what do we have here? The oldest movie I can remember seeing in theaters was New Nightmare when I was 6 years old. Damn, really? That's in the mid 90s. I was already in high school with that. I'm an old bastard. So what do you guys say? That's pretty cool. New Nightmare. Did you like it? Was it scary for you? That's inspirational to say the least I gotta say. Well, thank you, Colin. Yeah, because divorce can horrible moments like that in your life can really change a person because you can either go one way or the other. And my kids were my inspiration, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to turn this negative into a positive. And I remember those first nights when my kids weren't there and it was just me in the house alone. I'm like, what am I going to do? And I just started learning like Adobe After Effects, Premiere Pro, how to upload a video to YouTube. I had no idea how to do any of that stuff. And whenever I felt depressed or down, I focused that energy and turned it into a creative energy and started like learning, editing skills and things like that. So again, it even gave me a better career with my employer. One of my directors at my previous job saw one of my videos about Indiana Jones. If you look back on my old videos, the first ones from 2016, they're horrible, but they were really impressed with it. And they go, "Can you do that here at our job?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that there." So I started making videos for my employer because of YouTube. And that led to another career where I'm at now. And it's pretty cool how, again, just a random hobby and taking the time to learn something new in a dark moment in your life led to such a great career. And I'm incredibly blessed by this because if it wasn't for that moment, I would not be here at all. By then, I already had seen them all. Elm Street films, I love them. Dude, Elm Street, I remember seeing the first one. Let's talk Freddy real quick. Nightmare on Elm Street, I saw it as a kid, and this is like 84, 85. No internet, no TV. And I remember seeing that. And again, as kids, we had no internet. So all we did on weekends, no TV, we would tell ghost stories. And you would hope not to have nightmares. Whoever told the scariest story. And then a movie comes out about a guy who kills you in your nightmares. And that really freaked us out. I remember my sister telling me, "Oh, it's scary. Oh, he's got these blades on his hand, a claw." We called it a claw back then because we didn't know what it was. There was no internet, search engine to Google how he looked. So, how does he look? Oh, there's this magazine, Gore magazine. You got to check it out. So, this like Freddy in the early to mid 80s became like an urban legend in a sense. And it carried over to school. I was in third grade at the time. Everyone started talking about it. And by the time I saw it, I think, on HBO on Showtime because there was no VHS at the moment. It terrified me, dude. The music I remember scaring me the most. Tina's death scared me. Oh God, that traumatized me big time. But just the thought, and again, imagine a young kid knowing that, if you go to sleep, you may dream about Freddy, and then you had this fear of maybe dying. It's the silliest thing ever, dude. But Freddy really impacted me as a kid. I was more scared of him than I was of Jason or Michael Myers. Michael Myers to me was a presence, but Freddy was like this mean son of a bitch who like he cut off his fingers. Hey, check me out, check me out. He's just messing with you. So Freddy really terrified me, man. I went to high school in the mid '90s too. Class of '98, class of '95. Awesome, dude. The '90s rocked. And I remember the scariest for me nightmare was part 2. I never saw like all the gay innuendos that you now know about. That was totally oblivious to me when I was a kid. But now that you're watching it as an adult and Freddy ties up the coach and towel slaps his butt, like, oh, okay, now I get it. That all makes sense. But for me, part 2 was the scariest because of that scene where Freddy comes out of Jesse's stomach. That terrified me. I had to leave the room and I had to cover my ears because just the sound of Jesse screaming and just the visuals and I couldn't watch that scene. So of all the movies really in the 80s, that traumatized me the most was Freddy coming out of Jesse's stomach. And then part 3 came out, Dream Warriors, and that was the coolest because I had more of a budget. But as a kid, it was pretty cool because now you can have, when I was a kid, I dreamt that was Superman. And hold up. Whoa, hold up. Seriously? Oh my God. Oh, dude. Oh, dude, thank you. I'm still not used to getting anything on these things, man. So that means a lot to me, dude. As a single dad and, kids and, thanks. I'm trying not to get emotional here, man. Damn it. Thanks. Oh, you got, dude. That's pretty cool. Thank you. Seriously, man. Thank you. Okay. Back to, hold up. Okay, I'm trying to get emotional here. You got me all teary-eyed here. But Freddy, man, he really just screwed me up. But Dream Warriors was cool, and that was the movie that I remember. Oh man, wow. That was a movie I remember where I knew Freddy wasn't a real monster because at the end, I remember watching MTV a lot as a kid, and Dream Warriors, Dawkins, one of my favorite songs ever. It's on my workout soundtrack. And I remember the end of the video, Dawkins playing power chords. and Freddy Cougar's just covering his ears because Dawkins defeating him with guitars. And then Freddy in the video wakes up. He's like, "Oh my god, who were those guys?" And Freddy's holding a doll. And that was the moment where Freddy the monster was killed for me because I just knew it was Robert Englund in a suit, and that's it. I wasn't scared of Freddy no more because of Dawkins. So God bless Dawkins. Oh my God, Mohammed, thank you, man. I don't thank you so much. I will never forget that, man. That's a lot. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Wow. You almost got me crying here on this live, dude. Stop. God. Corey, I think the first film I ever seen in cinemas was A Bug's Life. It's at least the first cinema experience I remember. That's cool, man. I remember I already had graduated from high school, and I remember my niece was a little girl. We had the VHS of Bug's Life, and I liked it. That was like the second film after Toy Story. And at the time, Pixar, the animation was so mind-blowing. I remember when Toy Story came out, I was a senior in high school when people were going to, why are you going to go see a kid's movie? Like, it's CGI. It looks like it's real life, dude. You got to check it out. Everyone was just buzzed and just blown away with how Toy Story looked. And I remember in the theater, I'll never forget this, the oohs and ahs watching Toy Story in the theater because we had never seen anything like that. And at the very end of the film where, you know, Woody and Buzz are trying to catch up with the moving truck, we were all amazed at the background, the cars driving and everything. It looked like CGI. I mean, it looked like real life. We were just blown away with that. Horror I got on my own, and honestly, I wouldn't say I was all, if I can't read all of a sudden. Horror I got into on my own, and I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. That's awesome, dude. Tina's death is still one of the best deaths in the film history. Yeah. I actually met the actress in one of the Comic Cons. I think if you guys have been following me and watching The Lives of Cody, I actually met Robert Englund and all the actors and actresses in the film. There was like a Nightmare on Elm Street reunion. I had a whole like table. I had every actor there, and it was really super cool. And Tina, she was hitting on me, by the way. That was pretty funny. But anyway, I'm not lying. But anyway, she was super cool, and she told me how the death scene was shot and how they had I forgot the young gentleman who's yelling Tina. They had him like in this chair like, with a seatbelt strapped over his shoulder, so when the room was rotating, you know, he wouldn't fall over. So that was pretty cool. And again, Muhammad, thank you so much. The way Freddy pulls her mother through the front door is yeah, I remember it was scary. I mean, because it's visually striking when you first saw it. I'm like, what the hell's going on with that? It just looked weird. And I never, as an adult, I watch it now, and the ending really never made sense. The last 10 minutes of Nightmare on Elm Street for me just kind of ruined the experience. It doesn't make any sense. Sub bro, I'm new here. Hey, nay FGC, what's up, man? I love the Planet of the Apes. That's pretty cool. Have you ever seen the documentary Never Sleep Again? Is that the 5-hour documentary or something where it spends like an hour on each film? You bet your ass I have, man. That's fucking awesome, dude. I love that documentary. It's I watch it once a year. There's also another one that's like Friday the 13th related. I watched that one as well. But yeah, I love it. I love all the behind the scenes stuff. It's like I love all these documentaries you find on Amazon randomly or on Shudder, and they kind of revisit the old films. I love learning about how they made it because now everything's so oversaturated with CGI. I love how they build horror and they build atmosphere, and they used to use the practical effects. I really do love that. I didn't mean for you to get emotional, but my pleasure, man. You deserve it for the great content, motivational talks. You know what, dude? I mean, I'm like that, man. I'm not used to gratitude or just things like that. I don't take gratitude or just gestures like that. I'm weird. I'm going to therapy, man. What can I say? But yeah, that meant a lot to me. That's the first ever tip I've ever had like that. So damn, dude. Thank you. Top 3 movies. I think some of them are behind me. My entire house since I was married and got divorced. When I was married, I never had any say in how I can decorate my house. Back then, it was all filled with Kirkland's Vineyard bullshit and wine bottles and things like that. So when I finally bought my own house, I decorated it with posters. Every room in this house, it looks like the Alamo Draft House. But Superman, he was my hero. Christopher Reeve is still my hero. Hence, I got all the Superman tattoos on my arm. I'm working on a comic book Superman sleeve on my arm. That's my favorite. Evil Dead, of course, one of the first horror movies I've ever seen. And oh my God, I'd say Flash Gordon. Those are the ones, if I were to tell you what inspired me as a person, it's Superman, Flash Gordon, and Evil Dead. Those are the ones. But of course, right now, that's such a tough question. There's so many great movies out there. I'm kind of like exhausted with the whole comic book genre. I love Marvel movies. They were fun at the time, but after Endgame, I was done. I'm done with it. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League with all my heart. That was such an amazing film. But with films right now, I'm watching a lot of independent films. Like Possessor was good. I saw Censor was good as well. Pig with Nicolas Cage was really good. Licorice Pizza was good. I watch a whole bunch of films, man. But anytime I'm bored, the girlfriend and I, we go upstairs and we put on like a Shutter and watch a B movie, like a B horror movie, Russ Meyer film. We're all into that. So I have like a wide variety of like my favorite films. But Blues Brothers is another one. The Shining, Back to the Future, Suspiria, the remake from 2018 is one of my favorite films as far as horror. So it's kind of all over the place. Hell yeah. Crystal Lake Memories is the F-13 thing. Yeah, I think so too. Am I big on sci-fi? I'm a Trekkie. I love Star Trek. I grew up on Star Trek. I owe my love to Star Trek from my dad. My dad would watch the old Leonard Nimoy and Captain Kirk, the original series. And I remember I would watch it with him. I didn't understand what was going on, but I love Spock. Leonard Nimoy is also one of my close heroes. And when he passed, it really hit me. But I love the old Star Trek films. I think The Next Generation is the best series. But I miss the 90s because the 90s, there was a week on Wednesdays where it was Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and then you still had reruns of The Next Generation. And of course, you had the movie. So I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars too, but I love how in depth and deep some of the episodes can get when it comes to ethics and just, overall just conflicts. So yeah, I love sci-fi. I love Event Horizon's one of my favorite films, Aliens, things like that. So definitely. Crystal Lake Memories, and his name was Jason. Okay. Watch Lake Mongo based on it being on your top horror movie list. Pretty creepy stuff. Yeah. I showed my girlfriend that movie a couple days ago, and she said, "Yeah, it was okay." I'm like, "What do you mean okay?" Have you seen the Pokegees tapes? I did see it. I'm on TikTok. For those who don't know, I'm on TikTok as well. But I give advice. Initially, because of my channel, I went over to TikTok. I'm just gonna bring it up real quick. Excuse me. And I was sharing movie clips from my reviews and things like that, and never really took off. And then I started sharing excuse me, I'm gonna turn this down. Oh my god. Yeah, whatever. I started going to TikTok and I started sharing stories of how my divorce went and dating in my 40s. And I had a pretty successful dating career. I don't mean to boast, but I did. And I started telling stories like that on TikTok, and then it blew up. And on TikTok, I have about I'll show you. I'm gonna share screens real quick. Share screen. Share screen. Here we go. Oh, that's my girlfriend in the background. Sorry. So that's me on TikTok. I have about 174,000 followers, and a lot of my videos deal with relationships, depression, therapy, self-love, dating tips, parental tips about how to be a father, and dating overall. So the Pokegees tapes kind of tie back to your question. I remember seeing a TikTok saying you had to see it. It's one of the scariest movies ever made. So I watched it and I thought it was okay. I wasn't terrified with it. I thought it was conceptually very, it was unique. I love some of the camera angles and some of the kills and just the costumes, things like that, and how they went about it. So it had a creepy vibe to it, but Lake Mongo creeped me out even more because just the ambiance, and it felt real. And with the Pokegees tapes, I'm probably saying it wrong, there's a couple of actors within the film playing detectives or FBI agents that kind of like weren't convincing, and it took me out of the element. But yeah, I've seen it, man. I thought it was really done well. A great concept. Nice three. You got a fan here. Thanks, man. Thanks, Daniel. You should check out Vicious Fun on Shutter if you still got it. Yeah, dude, I watch at least a couple, 2-3 horror movies a week, some brand new ones, and I always go for the ones I've never heard about. So yeah, I'm all for that. Have you ever heard or seen Dear Evan Aston Sort of? No, I have not seen that. You know what? Just for that dude, Colin, I'm gonna write that down. So hold on. Dear Evan Hansen. Nope, haven't seen it, man. So I'll check that out. Thanks for the recommendation. Favorite Robert De Niro movie? Goodfellas for me. Not only my number one, but my number one of all time. How can you? Goodfellas is so awesome, man. I remember in the 90 when it came out. I remember how just everyone started quoting, "How am I funny?" But to answer your question, I don't want to say Goodfellas because you already said it. I'm going to go with Cape Fear. Cape Fear. Robert De Niro in the late '80s. I remember he did Awakenings with Robin Williams, excuse me, and then he did Goodfellas, and then he did Cape Fear. So it was like pa pa pa, like two Martin Scorsese films at once, and he scared the hell out of me in Cape Fear. He scared the living crap out of me in Cape Fear, and he just got all buff again. So it was weird. And my first really memory of De Niro, believe it or not, it was while I was watching The Untouchables with my dad, and I couldn't believe his body transformation. He was so big in The Untouchables as Al Capone, and then I saw him all cut in Cape Fear. So that's my favorite film, Cape Fear, De Niro. Of course, there's tons of others, but I love him in Heat. He's the coolest. I love that. What's your favorite game series after Metal Gear? Silent Hill. Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 are the ones that gave me traumatic nightmares for the longest time, man. For the longest time. Oh God. Especially part 2, and especially as I remember it disturbed me in a weird way where I didn't understand why it disturbed me, but the more I got into it and the more I understood it, it really the mature content and how Pyramid Head was a manifestation of his sexual frustration, all that stuff. So Silent Hills, man, those are amazing. Those really, and of course, Resident Evils and the Last of Us series are the ones I really make time out of my schedule to play. Goodfellas. Hey, Otacon, what's going on? Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Tyler. Rudy, since you're a big Trek fan, have you been watching all of the Paramount Plus? Oh, God. You know what, man? You may not like this, but ever since they went with the Kelvin timeline, I hate it. I saw the Picard series. I saw the first 3 episodes, and I got pissed. Just the way they were treating Picard. He's a 70-year-old man doing stunts. I got so angry, man. I couldn't see it. I didn't like it. I stopped watching because the Star Trek I grew up like. My favorite show is The Next Generation of Voyager and Deep Space Nine. I love the simplified storytelling of that. And when it became like a J.J. Abrams show and like action, it just turned me off, man. So I saw a little bit of it, but I was really upset. So yeah, I know, man. I was really upset. I want to love it. I want to love it. I love the J.J. Abrams trilogy. That was really, I thought the trilogy that came out recently, I think out of the 3 of them, Star Trek Beyond's the best. It felt like the most Star Trek movie out of the 3. But I thought they were done well with action and humor just to kind of bring in a new audience. But the shows I don't like, if that makes any sense. It's a musical, by the way. It's actually tied. Oh, really? Okay. I will definitely check that out. Thanks, Colin. Goodfellas is a great one. Otacon. Yo, Rudy, bro, you're sleeping on Orphan. Orphans, I don't want to spoil the ending, but I think I know what that is. It's the little girl, right? Who, there's a twist at the end. I think I've seen that one. That's a good one. Cape Fear ran too. No, I disagree, Terrence. I totally disagree. No great movie is too short, but the bad movies can be too long. I butchered that quote, but you know what I'm saying. Mike, what's up, Mike? What's up, Rudy? What's a really good underrated movie? Any genre you can think of? Underrated. Ooh, that's a good one. As far as dramas, this is really underrated. I'm a big Stallone fan. I love Copland. I don't know if you've seen Copland, but the cast is perfect. You have Robert Patrick, you have De Niro, Harvey Keitel. That's one of my favorite movies. Another underrated movie that I love is one of my, going back to my top 3, I'll put another one up there. This is probably my number 1. One of my favorite films of all time is Zodiac. The one that came out in 2008. This is right before Iron Man. So you have Jake Gyllenhaal, you have Robert Downey Jr., and you have the Hulk. I forget his name, but that movie, and it's a David Fincher film. I love David Fincher films. It's long, but the storytelling and how it changes protagonists throughout the film, it doesn't get the recognition it deserves. And a lot of people say The Outsiders is probably the best casted film ever. I will beg to differ and say no. I think Zodiac is the best casted film of all time. It's an amazing film. As a matter of fact, when I was dating, as one of my tests to see if I was going to take this girl seriously, after a while, she come to the house and we have a Netflix and chill night, whatever. And I go, "You like Zodiac? Oh, let's check it out." And whether they liked it, and I was like, okay, she has a great attention span. She loves good writing and good. She's really into the film like I am, so that was really a big telling point. So. Nathan, what's the most underrated slasher movie? For me, if Alice, Sweet Alice. I have not seen that. Underrated. Oh God, you got me thinking, man. Oh shit. Underrated. You know what? I will give Cody Leach some credit here. He recommended a film. There's two that come to mind. Session 9, which is a good one. I like psychological horror films that really get into your mind, and when the movie's over, it kind of lives up here for a few days and you can't stop thinking about it. I love those type of films. That's when I know, that's how I register for myself if I like the movie or not. But for me, the most underrated film that reminds me of Silent Hill is Jacob's Ladder in 1991-92 with Tim Robbins. That film is so underappreciated, man. It's not a slasher. I know it doesn't answer the question per se, but as far as a thriller, psychological horror, that film is unbelievably great. And it deserves more recognition. And again, it reminds me of like a Silent Hill type of movie. It's unbelievably awesome, dude. So let me just check over here real quick. I've seen a bunch of longtime Trek fans Hypercard and all of them. So, yeah, it's a shame, man. I wanted to love it. I love Patrick Stewart, and I just hate the fact that it didn't come out the way I wanted. You're gonna go see Jackass Forever. Those are fun movies. Like, I'm very selective. I'm almost like anal when it comes to movies. Like, if I can see it streaming at home, I have all the services here. I'll do it. Jackass, I think it will be a fun theater experience, like going on a Friday night, having a few drinks. I think that'll be a fun experience. I'll do that. Moonfall, of course, it's a Roland Emmerich film. You know exactly what you're walking into. It's a popcorn movie, so just go and turn off the brain. Yeah, I think I'll check them out just for the hell of it. Hell yeah, I love Copland. Only saw it maybe 5-6 years ago. Yes. Oh my god, yeah. Late 90s, Stallone had gained weight, and I love De Niro. Like, we gave you a chance and you blew it. You know, like, oh, they push him around so much, and I just can't stand how everyone bullies Stallone. It doesn't take him seriously, but I love the ending. So okay, Mark Ruffalo, thank you. Mark Ruffalo is one of the actors. Again, for me, a lot of people underappreciate his talent. He's such an amazing actor. And I'm glad they made that film before the whole Marvel thing took everything over. Starry Eyes is one of those underrated films I'll throw out there. Third Act is insane. I need to check that out. I haven't heard of that yet. Zodiac is a masterpiece, Mike. I totally agree with that. Session 9 is awesome. Yes, I live in the minds of the weak and the wounded. Simon being Rage, in a sense. I remember because my girlfriend loves psychology and we're watching it together, and halfway through she goes, whoever wrote this movie studied psychology. I'm like, I know, right? And that last line, just hearing like the analog tape and it being scratchy and getting goosebumps just thinking about it, man. And where do you live? Because everyone lived in the other personalities lived in the tongue and the eyes, and you wanted to know who Simon was. And he goes, I live in the minds of the weak and the wounded. I'm like, oh God. That was chilling. And after the movie, we're like, let's watch a comedy. That really was messed up. So yes, that line, I even quoted that to Cody. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Heat had a great cast. Yeah, it did. Absolutely. The Allstate guy. Let's see. What are elements that turn you off in a film? I'll say this, and a lot of people say I hate Marvel movies. I don't hate Marvel movies. I took my kid to see every film as from Iron Man 2 up until Endgame. So those are memories I'll cherish with all my heart. But things that get annoying to me is the formula. Is, for example, like sometimes, like in a Marvel movie, and other films do this as well. Like there's a tender, heartfelt moment where a character reveals something personal or something about their personality, and instead of letting the moment hold, a joke is thrown in there, or I got to take a whiz, or they get hit with a rock out of nowhere, and it just kills the emotional moment or the emotional weight of the film. And I started noticing that after Iron Man 3. And after I noticed that formula, I couldn't unsee it. And it got annoying. And I just hate that, some Marvel movies, actually all of them, they don't actually hold on emotional moments. And I think that's why I prefer DC in some cases. I'm not saying they're bad. I loved every one of them. I got every one of the movies back there on that shelf. But I just love how in DC films, there's lingering tension and stakes involved. And no one's joking around. The world's ending. No one's going to say anything stupid or do a footloose dance competition or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think not allowing an emotional moment to hold in a film is one of the things I hate. But other than that, I can't think of anything else right now. What's my top two? Oh, that's such a good one, man. My God. I have to go Mad Max Fury Road. That's one of I remember leaving that theater. That film, there's very few movie experiences, to be honest, where I don't like, I'm in there like, what the hell are we watching? Like, this is so insane. George Miller came out of like a retirement, and I think he was like 70 years old when he made it. I'm like, what the hell is this? The music, the angles, the zoom ins, the characters. That film, I remember just goosebumps all over the place, man. So Fury Road was one of the last action films where I was like, this is insane, man. As far as an other one, I'd have to say, oh my God, Die Hard's one of my favorites, of course. So I'll go with those two right now. There's others that I'm not thinking about, but those are the two that really stand out in my mind. Thoughts on Peter Weller's character? And I haven't seen one episode of Dexter, man. And I haven't seen any Dexter, not the old episodes or the new ones. I didn't have Showtime at the time, so I haven't seen anything with Dexter, man. But Peter Weller, if that's RoboCop, I've met him. He's an intelligent guy. He's actually very fierce. He's like very intimidating. Yep, it's pretty formatic. I know I said that wrong. And I know it works for the mass audiences. And again, if you love that, I'm not saying it sucks. That's just not for me. But when I recognize the formula, I couldn't unsee it. And when it comes to comic book movies, again, I was born in 77. I grew up in the 80s, so we didn't have television. We only had one channel, but I read comics. And I remember reading comics, and I remember loving the dark stuff like Daredevil when he was in Hell's Kitchen in the late 80s when he had to fight Typhoid Mary. I loved serious, edgy content. And then Batman comes out in 89, and oh my God, this looks dark and serious. It's not like the campy Adam West Batman we had back in the day. It was serious and dark. And then Batman Returns comes out, and the Penguin's trying to kill the firstborn kid of every Gotham City person with penguins that shoot rockets. And I'm like, yes, kill him. And then they changed the tone with Batman Forever. Then The Crow came out, which is the first rated R film, rated R comic book film ever, not Deadpool. Then Blade was the next one. Blade was really good. But yeah, I'd like, because of Batman and Batman Begins and Superman to an extent, I love my comic book material being dark and with real world consequences. That's just me. I love humor. Like Ragnarok was hilarious, but again, that's just my forte. That's what it is. I majored in psychology, so I guess I'll check out Session 9. Yeah, check it out. Again, it's not for everybody. Everybody has their own genre when it comes to horror or their own style, right? I like giallo films. I like Italian horror. Some people like 80s horror. So again, it's really well written and well acted. I was really surprised. I'd never even heard of this film. Of course, Terminator 2. How can I forget Terminator 2? I saw it when I was in a freshman in high school. Everybody had like a sexy Paula Abdul posters in their locker, or Pamela Anderson. I had Arnold Schwarzenegger on a bike. And my sister bought me a leather jacket, which I wear with my Negan outfit. You can see the bat right there. Terrence has taken photos of that. He's a photographer. But yeah, Terminator 2, my God. I remember leaving that theater. What's funny, because like when the T-1000 first became liquid metal, that whole that special effects, you see it now, it's so like, when you see a scene or a movie scene too much, it kind of, you lose the allure and the goosebumps of it. But I'll never forget the people that's oohing and awing when the T-1000, anytime that those special effects happen, because it looks so good. But Terminator 2, obviously, yeah, that's one of the best. Fight Club, hell yes, I love Fight Club. Love the picks. I'd say Die Hard and T2. Those are solid picks, man. I love Terrifier. A buddy of mine who has a YouTube channel, a Movie Massacre. We did a Halloween movie recommendation 3 years ago, and he recommended Terrifier, and I'm like, who's this Art the Clown guy? And I'm like, check it out. I'm like, holy shit, like, this is pretty cool, especially the whole hacksaw scene. Yeah, I loved it. I think Art the Clown is better than Pennywise, in my opinion. He's more terrifying. He's got more stage presence, and he's just, you don't know what's gonna. He's a killer. I love it. So I love Terrifier. I really love how Terrifier, for me, I remember thinking after it was over, I'm like, wow, this actually feels like an 80s R movie. Because rated R films in Hollywood nowadays suck. They don't have, in my opinion, balls like the 80s and 70s rated R films. So Terrifier reminded me of a good 80s R, if that makes any sense. Most anticipated horror movie of the year. I don't know what's coming out. The I've been so busy with a whole bunch of things. Let me just check here. Horror movies for 2021. The Ari Aster film or something, or Roger Ebert. I'll check it out. Horror movies 2022. 2022. I just want to see a list here. What's coming out? I saw Scream. Scream was good. That was a fun movie. It felt like a Scream movie, so I had nothing bad to say. Halloween Ends, of course. I'm looking forward to that. Despite other movie critics, I actually enjoyed Halloween Kills. I didn't want to. What I look for in a horror movie, especially a Michael Myers movie, is the kills and the atmosphere. I want to feel the evil presence of Michael Myers. I really don't really pay too much attention to the other stuff. Terrifier 2 is coming out. Holy I just looked this up right now. Yes. Yes, that's so cool. I did not know. I'm finding this out live in front of everybody. Terrifier 2 is coming out this year. Yes. What else is coming out here? Esther, I think it's a prequel to Orphan, which I don't know how they're going to do that, but okay. Jordan Peele, Nope. I like Get Out. Get Out was good. It was totally different. I liked it. It had like a Ray Bradbury Twilight Zone type of horror, which I think is it has its place, and I love that. I wasn't a fan of Us. I liked the originality of it, but it just didn't really hold with me. So I'm looking forward to seeing Nope with Jordan Peele. He's always got my. I'll go see the film for Jordan Peele. What else is coming out? The Long Night, that looks interesting. That's all I can see here. So I guess to answer your question, I'm going to go with, of course, Esther, and I'm going to go with Terrifier 2. That's my Terrifier 2. That's my number one, man. Dang, that's so cool. How excited are you for Batman? I'm trying to go in as blind as possible, as impossible it is nowadays. Yeah, I only watched the first trailer. After that, I don't do. If you go to my channel, I do some teaser reactions to trailers, but one trailer is all I need. After that, I'm done. And I can't stand right now because I'm on YouTube and Warner Brothers is putting out these 2-minute, 30-second clips from the movie. I'm like, stop! What the fuck are you doing? I mean, I don't want to ruin the movie for me. I love Robert Pattinson as an actor. I was really excited when I heard about the casting, unlike a lot of people who compared him to Twilight. But I love the what he can do with the character. And as far as Matt Reeves and the tone of the film, I'm really excited about it. I truthfully am. I wish we would have got a Ben Affleck movie. If you follow my channel, you know I love the Zack Snyder Justice League. I wish we would have got a part 2. I hope we do eventually one day. I like the tone of his films. If I were to make a superhero film, they would have been like Zack Snyder's. That's just me. I love Man of Steel. So with the Batman, I'm very interested. I love that it's going to be a long 2.5, 3-hour film. I love that people are saying it's a horror film. I wish it was rated R, but for money's sake, I get why they rated it PG-13. And I'm all about tone. I like the tone to be serious and dark, and that's what I'm getting. And I'm looking forward to seeing that, man. So good question. What are your thoughts on the new Batman coming out? The trailer has me. Yeah, I just answered that. There's good. There's Evil Dead Rises. I didn't see that, so that's good. I did not know that. Halloween Ends. Yeah, thank you for that. Del Toro's new film looks great, but I don't know how much far. Oh, Nightmare Alley. I saw that in December. I think it should be nominated for Best Picture. It's beautiful. The acting, the production design, everything's so beautiful. It's like you're watching a classic horror. It's like you're watching a classic movie from the 50s. The acting is on point. It's not scary. It's just a drama with a tad of horror, but don't go and think it's a horror film, but it's really good. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, I'm from Texas, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. By the way, lots of people hate your Evan. Okay, that's fine. I mean, like I said, when people recommend movies for me, I usually don't take recommendations a lot, but yeah, I'll check it out. Like sometimes I have like a list of movies and screenshots on my phone, and when the girlfriend comes over on Friday, she says, "What do you want to see?" I'm like, "Oh, let's check out something." I saw this film called The Scary. Let me see, what's it called? The Scary. It was so damn weird. The Scary. This was so weird. And you know what? I'm not even gonna recommend this film because it was so damn. But I'm just gonna tell you about it. 1 second. Let me get a big picture up here. Let's share screens real quick. 1 second. The Scary of 61st. This film is about these girls who get an apartment in New York, and the apartment turns out to have been owned previously by Jeffrey Epstein. This film has some of the most disturbing, effed up shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking where it's almost experimental. Um, and it, the director, it's like imagine The Room. The acting is like The Room, Tommy Wiseau, but they do some crazy stuff. They have, I don't know if I can say this on the live, but they have a girl pleasuring herself in front of the front door of Jeffrey Epstein's real life apartment in New York. And I'm like, they did not go there. I was like, what the hell are they doing? So the movie is like, think of it like the acting's The Room, a little bit of Eyes Wide Shut, and a little bit of Rosemary's Baby, but done horribly wrong. But done horribly wrong. That film was such a trip, and I had rented it for $4. But yeah, that movie I saw recently, and it really just screwed me up. So that's the type of stuff we watch. I'd like messed up shit like that. So I like different stuff. That's just me. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Shawshank Redemption? This is probably one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. How do you not get teary-eyed at the end where you're just hearing Morgan Freeman just narrating, hoping you see, I hope I see my friend. I want to shake his hand. You know, how do you not get emotional with that? It's so beautifully done. That's one of the best films ever. You know. Yeah, the same actor who played the little girl is playing the same role. Really? I guess she hasn't aged all that much. So I'm looking forward to that Orphan sequel. Favorite non-horror movie? Oh God. There's so many. When you say favorite, there's so many that it's tough to just pick one. Uh, my God. My God. Inglorious Bastards is a good one. I love Dolomite. I like all kinds of weird shit, man. Dolomite, Pewdie Wheatstraw, The Devil's Son-in-Law. I like old school 70s stuff like that. Yeah, I like all kinds of stuff, man. So that's really a tough question to answer. I mean, the Love Witch Up Here, I love that. It's an Anna Biller film. Mandy is one of my favorite films. I love it. It's such a like an art style film. Anything with Nick Cage, I love. I love Nick Cage. I'll watch anything he does. So Mandy's another good one, and that's like an artsy style art house horror film. Have you seen? Yeah, Duel. I saw that on like a regular television, like it was Saturday night at my friend's house, late night horror movie back in '85, and it terrified me. It was really done well. I can. It's crazy how much tension that man built. With in that whole scene. And again, maybe it's kind of like a Mad Max type of movie in a way. I don't know. But yeah, I love that film. I saw it as a kid. I loved. Is that The Dark Knight? I hope this can be as good. Yeah, The Dark Knight. Yeah, the Dark Knight is like The Godfather. It's up there. I mean, it's going to be tough to take anything down. Maybe this is a contender. Possibly. I don't know. I love the Joker. A Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. That after that movie was over, I just sat in my seat, man, and I was like, "What the hell did we just see?" Goosebumps. It's very. I know a movie really hit me from an emotional standpoint when I have goosebumps. Yeah, if I feel that, man, like, oh God, I'm gonna buy this movie. So I need to feel the goosebumps. Oh, come on, man, Mike, how can you ask me that? God, I plead the fifth. They're both done so well. You can't pick. You can't pick between the two. You really can't. All right, this is my first not spontaneous live. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with it. Fuck. I'm gonna go with Alien. Okay, Alien. Ridley Scott, and I just love the tension, the introduction of the alien species, the production design. No, I mean you watch those old films like that. Watch Alien. Whenever you watch Alien again, watch it again, and just understand that none of that CGI. All of everything you see is a model or a production. Everything's so real. I love that, and I love the isolation and how you don't see the xenomorph, in full detail. You see it in the background, all that. I just love the atmosphere and the tension which again, people stranded in the middle of nowhere on their own, right? So I love the fact that it kind of reminds me of The Thing. So there you go. Have you ever heard of the movie The Willies with Sean Astin? Rudy, no, I always say Rudy because Sean Astin. Rudy's one of my favorite movies. I was playing high school football when that movie came out. Long story. Have you ever heard of the movie? I have not heard of that movie. I got to check that out. I saw Eyes Wide Shut at 12 years old. What the hell, dude? It came out in '99, and like, as I mentioned before, I was divorced in 2016, but that was the first year we got married, and we saw that film. And it's probably before it gets into that fairy tale, Alice in Wonderland, rabbit hole. The conversations that married men and women have, that's probably the most realistic portrayal of a husband and wife discussion, because I love that whole scene where Nicole Kidman and them they're smoking and they're talking, and she starts talking about how she was attracted to that officer and she would have done anything to be with him, knowing that she was in love with her husband and she had a wonderful family, but yet she still wanted him. It really brings up the question: when you're married, you can still be attracted to people, but just acting upon that, you can't do that. And that's, again, being married for 16 years, that was probably one of the realest, deepest conversations that married people should have, but don't, in that film. Beautifully written. The most messed up movie. I've heard of that film. I know what he does to the baby, and I can't watch it. I have a line that I won't cross. And when it comes to stuff like that, for the sake of just being disturbing, I can't. Hold on, let's see. Oh, hold up. Hey man, I think I got everything fixed. Do your live stream as long as you want, and let me know if you want to do a live. Yeah, let's do that. Cody, if you're still on, let's go ahead and do that. I'll wrap up the live in a few minutes and then send me a link. Cool? Down? I think that's fun. That's awesome, dude. You sleeping on The Mask, bro. Don't forget it. The Mask, yeah, it was good with Jim Carrey. Sci-fi, CGI, all that stuff. I totally agree, dude. It was just, Cameron Diaz was so hot in that movie. But that was mind-blowing, too. And Jim Carrey was at the Mount Everest top of his career. He couldn't do no wrong. Let's see here. Are you a fan of Nolan? A few more questions, then I'm going to end the live, guys, and go back with Cody so we can do his video game countdown. So 5 more minutes here. Are you a fan of Christopher Nolan, and which movies of his do you like? I like every one of his films. I love him. I hate that Warner Brothers couldn't work with him, and now he's at Universal now, I believe. But I will buy a ticket to any one of his films. Tenet, I had to see 4 times to actually enjoy, because I remember I was like an hour into Tenet. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I don't know. Who's that guy? I didn't know anything, dude. So Tenet frustrated me, but after I bought it on Blu-ray and saw it a lot of times, it grew on me. Oh, God. There's no wrong answer, but the fact that Alien is from the 70s and still holds up, yeah. And I have the PlayStation 4 game that I have yet to play. Cody Leach, the GOAT. Yeah, he is, man. He's the man. She was hot, dude. All right, everybody. Tenet, yeah. Everybody, sincerely, Cody, let's do the live, man. Send me the link. Let's do that. I want to sincerely thank everybody for joining me on this impromptu, spontaneous live. I think I'm gonna do more of these. I appreciate everybody. And Muhammad, sincerely, I've never been tipped like that ever in any platform. I almost cried on this damn live. It's so funny, but it means the world to me. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, go to Cody's channel. We're going to talk about his new channel, Cody Leach Game Chamber. We're going to talk about the 10 most important video games that we've ever in our lives. So join us there, okay? Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.